Hello, I'm Reverend Dr. May Elise Cannon. Today is Thursday, October 12th. It's day 6 of the war between Hamas and Israel. By now, I'm sure you've heard some of the absolutely horrific details coming out about the massacres, the deaths of hundreds at the hands of Hamas militants, the deaths of hundreds of Israeli Jews at the hands of Hamas militants in southern Israel, and Jews and others around the world are grieving and lamenting. It's being described that this event or these events are like the Israeli 9/11. And so there's global lament and grief in that regard. And I think one of the great challenges of this moment is how the sacredness of loss, how do you honor that when now there's also more death and destruction going on, which has to be addressed. And so that's one of the tensions that's happening. And so there is still a war. And Israel is continuing to bomb Gaza, and maybe you have seen the absolute destruction and devastation of city blocks, and more than 300,000 Gazans have been displaced. And one of our great concerns at Churches for Middle East Peace is that the world is not crying out on behalf of the 2.2 million people in Gaza who literally are being cut off from water, which is a life source. Those of us who are Christians, who believe in Jesus, he said, I am the living water. Water is needed for life. And so Israel is practicing collective punishment by turning off water, electricity, and gas in Gaza, which is illegal by international law. And yet it seems like very few countries in the world have any issue with that. And the countries that do have issue with the world, in large part, are countries that the United States or the West might not be in alignment with politically. So China has spoken out, Saudi Arabia has spoken out, Erdogan in Turkey has spoken out, advocating for Palestinians in Gaza. And Churches for Middle East Peace and other, peace-focused organizations are saying we have to pay attention to civilians in the midst of this war. So you've heard me say, and I will keep saying it, we are calling for an end to all violence. We condemn all violence, the violence of Hamas, the violence of armies, militants, and states. And the devastating effects of bombs and rocket fire, wherever it is coming from. We found out today it has not broken very much in U.S. news. It's been reported, but just a little bit. Israel bombed 2 airports in Syria. I've not been able to find in the news much about why. I did see in a couple of news reports that I think Israel acknowledged it. It was reported widely that Syria was reporting. It's just starting to hit the Western media. And so the concerns about the war expanding more geopolitically continues to be present. There were drones from Hezbollah in South Lebanon present in northern Israel. So those are things that are being paid attention to. Blinken is present in Israel today. He met with Netanyahu, and Secretary of State Blinken will meet with President Abbas of the Palestinian Authority tomorrow. There have been some proposals for humanitarian corridors, and what that is a space where parties would agree to not bomb, where people could go for safety, where civilians could go, where people could possibly receive medical care and have humanitarian needs met, where food could be distributed. And one of the first proposals was that there could be a humanitarian corridor outside of Gaza in the Sinai Peninsula and Egypt. And Egypt opposes that idea, and actually many other groups oppose that idea as well. And one of the reasons there's opposition to that is because if Palestinians leave Gaza through the Rafah border, which I hear may be open again, if Palestinians leave through the Rafah border, the big concern is that they will never be allowed to return. And so there is significant concern that the proposals for a humanitarian corridor in Egypt is actually a permanent plan to displace Palestinians and to get them out of Gaza. So those are just some of the news updates today. And I thought, if you would permit me, I got permission to read this. We're going to post this on the Churches for Middle East Peace website. It's a few paragraphs. This is actually something that I received from a student that I taught at Bethlehem Bible College. He sent it to me from one of his friends. It's written by a Palestinian who's a part of the Parents Family Forum. And to become a member of the Parents Family Forum, you have to have lost a loved one to the conflict. This group is Israelis and Palestinians, and they say that they have paid the common price of having lost people they love and having blood shed in the conflict, and they come together to pursue peace. And so Jamil wrote this: "You must not lose faith in humanity. Humanity is an ocean. If a few drops in the ocean are dirty, the ocean does not become dirty." That's a quote from Mahatma Gandhi. I'm not sure how I should start writing this message. I rarely write, and I don't like writing. I usually share spontaneously words from the heart, and I'm writing now words from the heart. I write these words while holding back my tears of pain from the horror of what I hear and see. I would love to share with you a moment of mixed feelings of fear of the future. We are going through the most difficult days, full of bloodshed, hatred, revenge, and a glimpse of hope. Yes, there is a glimpse of hope. I send you hugs and I sympathize with you. Your sadness is my sadness. Your pain is my pain. And we also share hope, whether it is glowing or just a candle flame. My dear partners, the Palestinians have previously gone through. I just got a text message which made me lose my place. I'm sorry. My dear partners, the Palestinians have previously gone through 4 wars on Gaza, and today we are witnessing the 5th, and Gaza was destroyed. Thousands of victims and tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, were wounded. We've always seen support and compassion from you, as well as condemnation and refusal of violence. Through protesting in the streets and in the squares against war, we Palestinians covered our wounds, buried our loved ones, and stood together side by side to raise our voices loudly. We are against war. We fight together for freedom and a better future for all of us. When I came to Tel Aviv in the 2014 Gaza war, there were approximately 5,000 people killed because of the bombs by airstrikes. And I stood tall next to my partners, and I raised my voice as loudly as possible and said that neither V-16 planes nor heavy tanks would build peace. Television stations were broadcasting my words everywhere in Ramallah and Daesha camp, our beloved camp. I stood tall and proud with full belief that my choice was the right one. My choice is to end wars. And today I look at you and I see in your faces that the option of peace has become shaky. The partnership option is not clear. I need you to be strong, to heal the wounds, to stand up so that we can continue to finish this journey and to finish what we have started. We have lost our loved ones, but we will not lose our sanity. We will not lose our humanity. We will not lose hope. I have seen many peace activists on social media sharing that they are now going to join the Israeli army. I don't want to believe this. There is no justification for a person who has believed in an idea for years and years and years to lose hope in a moment of anger. I told you that I was in the same position, and the pain that we both share as Palestinians and Israelis is the pain of humanity. I am a strong man and everyone knows me, and I am currently shedding tears, and I don't remember crying but a few times, including when my brother Nasser was martyred. The war will end. This is inevitable. Whatever the results, there will always be another tomorrow. I don't know how to look at you when I know that some of you answered the call of war, which is a call of hatred. My dear partners, I do not belittle the events that have happened, but we must be strong, and we must be strong with faith. Faith is needed not only on ordinary days. Faith is needed to go against the flow, to see the hope, to run towards it. At the end of this message, I just want to say that I need you, and I know that you need me. I extend my hand to light the candle of hope. Let us destroy the flames of hatred and raise our voices that war is not our choice. I love you all without exception. Jamil Kassas. For those of you who might have just joined in late in the video, Jamil Kassas is a member of the family circle. His brother was killed as a result of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and this letter, as I read it, is to his Israeli peace partner who he's been working with for years. And he's begging them, and I think he's begging us. The same can be read for Americans. Americans right now are going to war. And he is saying, we need each other. May we take the courageous choice. It would be so easy to pursue revenge. And revenge might even be justified in the horrors of what has happened. And he's saying, may we choose peace and hold on to hope. And so we will post, I have Jamil's permission to post this. I thought his words were so encouraging and so beautiful. And one of the challenges, just for you to know, is that we at Churches for Middle East Peace are experiencing a lot of pressure. I right now am in Boston. I'm on the middle of a 3-week speaking tour in several different cities. We have some speaking events at universities here, and there are protesters. There are threats against events. I just had someone who was supposed to speak with me about peace building and justice and addressing core causes and Palestinian needs. I had an Israeli partner who I think is not going to be speaking. And I don't judge that decision, but we need partners and we need to stand together, and standing together for peace for all people is not in any way minimizing the horrors of what has happened to the Jewish people over the past several days. To say we love Palestinians does not mean we don't love Israelis. And so may I just, I'll repeat it to myself over and over again as I beg of you and encourage you. The Israeli Defense Forces just came out with a campaign that says, stand with Israel or you stand with terrorism. And I think that is just so completely wrong. I would say stand with the people of Israel. And if you stand with the people of Israel, you must stand with the people of Palestine too. And so can we please just erase these zero-sum games? Because if you really, really love the Jewish people and you want Jewish people to be secure and have a good future, please, 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 hear the cry of the Palestinian people, their neighbors, and vice versa. And people have been saying, oh, those are such nice words. And if you won't listen to me, then listen to Jamil or listen to, some of our Israeli friends who have paid a far greater price than we. So we will continue to pray for peace and we will continue to work for it as well.